Well, I'm going to say good afternoon to everyone. I see James and Catherine and Bald Guy Studio. Not sure what your first name is, but thanks for joining. Just waiting for Jen to come on, but I'm going to get started here anyway. We're going to be talking about microlearning on Instagram. Instagram is one of my favorite platforms. I don't believe that I have to be on every social media platform out there, so I've chosen just a few to spend my time on. Well, thanks, Chuck, for letting me know your name there, and thanks for joining. And Catherine, this is your first Blab. Glad to see you here too. If you've never used Blab before and you want to ask a question, on the right-hand panel there, all you need to do is type /Q and then your question, and it will highlight it for us. So I'll do an example right now so you can see how that works. I'll just do /Q, and then I'm just going to type the word question. And you can see there on the right side how it highlights questions for myself and Jen, and it will make it easier for us to be able to see what kind of questions you have. And I see there's another first-time person here too, Darlisak. I'm not sure what your name might be as well, but thank you. And Jay, thank you for stopping by. I personally use Instagram to do some microlearning. I like the fact that in our busy lives these days that we can pass, scroll through the feeds of some of these social media platforms and still be able to learn something. So I try to help people to learn in just those small little micro moments, as you might want to call them, through Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, sometimes through short videos, sometimes through images. And I think it can be quite effective, even though you might not be learning a lot of detail on some certain topic. I still think that these platforms allow us to take some micro moments and do some learning in just a short amount of time, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, for example. Darlisa. Oh, thank you, Darlisa, for clarifying that for me. I appreciate you joining today. If any of you have questions, feel free to start typing them in there immediately. And as you see with Blab, what I like about this platform and why I'm using it for my Bright Minds Blab series is that it's live streaming. I can record it. I am recording now. And then after I'm finished, I will be able to immediately upload to YouTube and then be able to share it for those who, for example, missed it today or would like to replay some of the content of things that they might have heard or learned or need to remember. Blab is also, I think, very simple in that you just sign in with Twitter, and it has this kind of webinar style right panel there where you guys can connect with each other, you can ask questions, you can mention each other, and I think it's a really great platform. I personally think it's going to bury Google Hangouts and become its replacement. The Blab team that is working on this just started coding it, as far as I know, about 4 or 5 months ago. So it is quite new. You might see that it's in beta. And they are listening to users and what their wants and needs are and have been adding, as far as I've seen, they've been adding new features on a weekly basis. So it's a great platform for you to use. And I decided to start using it for this Bright Minds Blab Chat series. And what that is I just connect with some experts and some people who I think are bright minds in their field or what they're working on. And then what I do is I interview them. I just have a conversation with them, ask a few questions, and then why I decided to do that on Blab is that I'm learning, and I figure that you guys could learn as well just by tuning in. And so what I think is really great about having nice deep conversation or intellectual conversation with people is that a number of us can learn from it. So I decided to do it right here on Blab. Tomorrow I am going to have another Bright Minds Blab chat with the community manager for BlackBerry Canada, and the topic is building community around your Blab and around your brand, sorry. And I've got some more coming up this month in November. So stay tuned to my Twitter handle here, JGoodDFC, and I hope you join in some future ones. I have a question here from James. Why use Instagram for microlearning as opposed to any other social channel? Well, that's a really great question. What I like about Instagram is that it is mostly visual and that you grab people's attention in a way that might be a little bit different than I think maybe Twitter or Facebook, for example. When you're scrolling through Instagram and you're seeing photos and videos, that photo you're looking at or that video that you're looking at is the only thing that you're giving your attention at that time, whether it be 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, as opposed to Twitter. When you are scrolling through and looking through Twitter, I find that you see, I don't know, 5 to 10 tweets at the same time, and it's kind of easier for you to be distracted. But on Instagram, when you're scrolling through and you decide to land on one certain photo, that's all your attention focused on that one photo, that one video, that time. And so for us, if we want to help people learn, if we want to help people know more about us, then I think in those small square or rectangular images or videos, we can give a lot of value and have that person focus right on that thing right then and there before they scroll and keep moving on to, let's say, another photo. So the way I use it sometimes for microlearning is sometimes I will just create an image. I'll use Pablo, for example. That's a free tool that Buffer has offered and is really great, I think. The good thing about it is that it pre-sizes your images for Twitter, Facebook, etc. But sometimes I use it also to create images on Instagram, or I use something like Over, which is a great app you can get on iOS and Android, which adds text to photos, really great fonts, really great, easy to use system, user experience. And so sometimes I will create an image, and in that image, I will maybe do a thought trigger. That's one thing I like to use, is where I'll create a statement or a question that will just get you to think a bit deeper about a topic. Or I might give you a tip. So for example, I gave a quick microlearning tip about Instagram, and I said, claim your hashtag. When you're on Instagram, you might want to think about a hashtag that relates just to you. So for me, of course, that would be hashtag digital fluency coach, because that's what I call myself. And so I would put the hashtag digital fluency coach, and I basically claim that because that's my job role, I guess, my job title, my company, and my website. And so I just created that as an image on Instagram. I also can do video, for example. In the 15-second video, you'd be surprised at what kind of value you can give people. A tip, advice, suggestion, a best practice. And as I said, when that person is scrolling through your Instagram feed and they see that one thing that they decide to land on, you have their full attention for that 5, 10, 15 seconds. And so I think it's great for that. James is saying, didn't know about Pablo by Buffer. Yes, Buffer put that out, I would say, earlier this year. It's free for now. I'm not sure if they'll have it as something that's fee-based in the future. But you go in there. There are different kind of sizes depending on the social media platform you're going to use. They have rights-free images, so you don't have to worry about copyright or any kind of rights there. They have a selection of images already there for you to choose from. They're usually kind of scenery-based, like mountains, clouds, a forest, for example. But there's also a little square where you can upload your own photo and then work from there. And that's something that I often do because I like to take photos, around with my smartphone. And sometimes I have a photo that works perfectly for a quote or a piece of advice that I want to share. When you go into Pablo, then you just add your text on there. Then you can download it to your computer, or you can automatically already share it with Twitter, Facebook, or whatever you want. I prefer to download so that I can use it more than just one time. And one kind of pro tip I'll give you when you use Pablo is that I would recommend that after you put the thing that you want to say, let's say a thought trigger, piece of advice, best practice, or quotation, whatever, for example, then put your Twitter handle just in the bottom right corner. There's the ability in Pablo to do sort of your primary text and your secondary text. And the secondary text box makes it a little bit smaller, and I like to use that secondary text just to put it down in the bottom right-hand corner of my Pablo image, so that if someone retweets it, if someone shares it, they will always see that I am the primary source, that they will hopefully come back to me on Twitter and connect with me further, maybe ask me more questions, maybe go a little bit deeper about the thing that I was talking about. So Pablo is a really great thing for that. And then, as I said, on your phone, you can use Over. Over is iOS or Android. Now, just as you see here, for those of you who are new on Blab, you might see on your screen there, it says open seats, and it says join the seat. If any of you want to grab this open seat and ask me a question in real time, which is what I like about Blab, go for it. You don't have to keep typing on the side there if you'd rather just ask me like live in the flesh kind of thing. So feel free, if anyone wants to grab that seat, go ahead. I'm totally fine with that. Now, as I was saying with microlearning, the reason that I like to use these platforms, I also do the same thing on Twitter based on James's question. He says, why Instagram as opposed to another social channel? I do it on Twitter as well, but I like the fact that you have a more visual focus on Instagram as opposed to Twitter. I'm just going to open up a seat here for Catherine and see if she has a question for us today. Like I said, we're busy these days in our lives, and I still think in between diapers and dinner, we can still help people learn even in these small little bits in between doing one thing and another. So these are the great things about Instagram and Twitter for me. Hello, Catherine. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You might want to speak a bit louder or get a bit closer to your microphone. I can't see you, but I can hear you.
Yeah, and you know, as you always encourage me to try new things.
Oh, great.
I hear I'm clicking all over the screen because I don't see normal icons. So I'm not so sure that I actually entered this properly. So I will continue clicking to see if I can get the video going. So if you want to give my seat up to someone else, then if they like, then that's
okay.
Good.
You can just hit the black X on the top of your square and then retry again if you'd like, and it will open it up for someone else.
Okay, thanks,
yeah,
Jamie.
No problem. I'm glad you're here. Sassy Savvy asks, what's my Instagram username? That's a great question, and thank you for asking. It is Digital Fluency Coach. I'll just type it here for everyone to see. Digital Fluency Coach is my website as well, digitalfluencycoach.com. And why I've decided to call myself that, and I dress with my coach's outfit, is because I coach people in helping them future-proof their career and business by using digital tools and becoming better at and more efficient of being online and using digital tools and having a digital presence that makes an impact but doesn't take up 24 hours of your day to do so. I believe we can have a good presence online without spending hours and hours doing so. And so that's my my Instagram there is Digital Fluency Coach. And James has another question. What were the 3 points you mentioned for image overlay ideas? I'm not sure James, if you want to grab the open seat, go ahead to explain that a bit further for me. But the 3 points you mentioned for image overlay ideas. Oh, so I think you might be mentioning one was to, give like advice, a thought trigger. I like to kind of trigger people to think a bit deeper on something. I also give best practices or suggestions. These are, I think, what you were talking about. Another point that I mentioned is to add your Twitter handle whenever you create an image or you create a quote, because there are lots of online free resources and tools that you can use to create quotes, etc. But always, I think it's important as a personal branding aspect to always put a bit of you in that image. So your Twitter handle, maybe your website, and you might even put a CTA or call to action and say visit and then your website address, or follow and then your Twitter handle. I think anytime that you can insert that bit of you that takes people back to where you want them to go, website, Twitter handle, Facebook page, etc. Because in personal branding, as we know, we want people to keep us top of mind, and that when they think of, well, who can I get to coach me in digital and social media, that hopefully they think of me, Digital Fluency Coach. And when people like the content and the images and videos that I create, that they will see that it came from me, so that if it gets passed along, which is what we hope happens, that the person who sees it next will then come back to us on Twitter, Facebook, our website, etc. as well. So I think I answered your question. You said, bingo, that was it, so great. And thank you, Chuck, for saying very cool handle. I I just rebranded earlier this year. I got to let go from a job based on, you know, those reshuffling and reorganization things that happen. And I thought, I don't think I want a boss anymore. So I decided to work for myself and rebranded as the Digital Fluency Coach. Why the coach's uniform? Well, of course, I think it makes it a little more fun. And because I help people with learning and development, I believe, and neuroscience has proven, that if people aren't having fun, they aren't learning. They aren't learning. So I try to have people have a little bit of fun when I'm doing workshops. Like you see, I've got my little whistle around my neck here, and it's part of my kind of gimmick maybe, but it's my personal branding, and I'm hoping that it makes me more memorable. So think about that for yourself as well. How can you make yourself more memorable, more fun for people so that they want to connect with you, they want to learn from you? One of the things that I do, which went over quite well last week at a Twitter workshop that I was doing, was at the beginning, I blew my whistle and I said, okay, everybody, stand up. We're going to do stretches. Well, everybody kind of frowned. It was early in the morning. Not everybody had their coffee yet. And they were like, stretches? Really? Well, I kind of surprised them because it wasn't the typical stretches, you know, with your arms up in the air. We were doing a Twitter workshop. So what did we need to stretch? Our Twitter thumbs, of course. And so I had everybody get up and I said, okay, you're going to be using your thumbs to tweet today. So up, down, up, down. We need to stretch these thumbs, stretch these thumbs. And then I had them stretch their fingers for those who had tablets. And everyone was laughing. It was such a good way to start the workshop because it put everybody in a great mood, which means in neuroscience terms, they were ready to learn. And it was a fun thing, the coach getting everybody to stretch. I had my tracksuit on. I have Adidas pants, Adidas shoes that I wear, and it was fun. So think about a way that you can give fun to people and help them connect with you, because then they'll want to learn with you, then they'll want to follow you and be your fans. And you always want to try to create a community around what you're doing. So I see the right-hand side here is going a little crazy. Make sure I don't miss something. Oh, that's a good point there, James. I think everybody go ahead there on the side for each other and share your Instagram handle so that you can all connect and build your network from this blab. That's a really great point. Thanks, James, for sharing that. As I said, we want to build community, we want to network, and we want to connect with each other and help each other. Chuck says, bring the fun, yes. And his Instagram handle is similar to his Twitter handle, which is smart as well, Bald Guy Studio. I always say that if you can, try to keep your name or profile names consistent across all the platforms that you use, so that if someone just maybe Googles you or knows your, for example, Bald Guy Studio on Twitter, then I would go into Instagram and search for the same thing, right? Now, I'm wondering if, Chuck, if you want to grab that open seat, feel free as well. Anybody who wants to join that seat, it's there for you. Sassy, if you have an Instagram account that you'd like to share, put it there as well on the right-hand side. This is the really nice thing I like about Blab, is that you have a nice community going along on the right-hand side, and you have the opportunity to connect, share, reply, mention, all those kind of things with each other, and I think it's wonderful. If you have any questions about Blab after this, or now even, you can ask them or grab that seat. I've been using it, I would say maybe 3 weeks now, I think. It's quite new for me too, but I decided to just jump in and go for it because I just like how simple and great it can be. So there's also some websites being shared. Awesome. You guys are awesome. I love this. Catherine's Instagram is Catherine Jackman. So please follow each other and connect. And I don't have a lot yet at the Digital Fluency Coach Instagram handle because I've had another one a lot longer, but I'm trying to plan and create a content calendar to see how I can share microlearning tips and just learning opportunities for everybody. So it'd be great if you followed, if you give suggestions and feedback. I would love it anytime you want. Robin's World, her Instagram account is Robin's World. Great. Robin with a Y, just like my friend. I love it. And if you want to take this seat, go for it. My other Instagram handle, if you're interested, is a more personal, but I don't really mind that it's out there. I mean, I'm not ashamed to share my personal Instagram feed. It is jgoodto, because I used to live in Toronto, so TO for Toronto. And one of the things I do on Instagram, if you're interested, is the Weekend Challenge, and Catherine has been part of that over the years. So let me just write that hashtag there for you, weekend challenge. I started that in November, will be 3 years already, and we're almost to 4,000 photos. So if you guys want to help me help us get to 4,000 photos, head over to Instagram, check out the weekend challenge hashtag. It's worldwide. And one of the things I did when I decided to get into social media is I wanted value from any platform that I was going to join. I wanted to meet people, and I wanted to create community. So I have met many people from Instagram in person. And it's one thing I always try to do is meet the people who I am connected to online, offline. And so with Instagram, when I started, I thought, if I'm going to use this, I want some value from it. So in the beginning, I thought, I'll give myself a challenge. Every weekend, I'll think of some topic or something, and I will try to take photos based around that topic so that I'm creative at least once a week. And then I thought, maybe other people would like to do this too. So I created the weekend challenge. And every Friday, I would announce a new topic that people could take a picture. And it would be, something like blue, red. This weekend was backlit. Might be architecture. Might be trees. And whatever. And some people would suggest these topics. And then every weekend, you see people from Australia, Iran, Switzerland, Italy, UK, United States, submitting their photos based around that theme. And what has happened is this really great supportive community has grown around this hashtag for the weekend challenge, and I love it. Everybody's been connecting with each other. They give kudos to each other for their great photos. You see amazing ways that people decide to take one topic and make a creative photo out of it. And we even had a mascot. We had one guy's dog become our little unofficial mascot, and a calendar was created because of it. So I've been pretty proud of that weekend challenge, and I really encourage you to join us. I try to announce the weekend challenge topic every Friday. Sometimes I'm a little late, but it's usually by Saturday morning. So check out the weekend challenge every weekend on Instagram if you can. Catherine has been a great supporter and participant in that. Now, I want to make sure I don't miss your questions here. Darlise says she's kind of new to Instagram, and she'd submit that she'd like to have some help learning Instagram there. That's awesome, Darlise. I'm glad that you're new there and you're willing to just dig in and see how it works. Any questions you have anytime, make sure you send me a message. Tweet me, message me on Instagram. They have improved the messaging feature there in the last 2 months, so go for it. I think it's an awesome platform. It can be so much fun. And anytime you have questions, go for it. You want to connect to our Weekend Challenge community? They're a great group of people and global, so it's totally fun. Catherine has a question. Do you find videos receive more likes than other types of microlearning posts? I haven't seen that. I haven't seen really much of a difference. I use both video and images, and sometimes I find that the images get a bit more engagement, because when you think about it, if you are scrolling through Instagram, Twitter, for example, and you only have a couple minutes, you're waiting in line at the bank, for example, or waiting for the bus or something like that, you're not going to maybe then click on videos if it's going to take you 30 seconds to watch that. But in the photograph or an image, you can get the gist or the point in like 4 to 5 seconds and then keep scrolling on. So I sometimes try to keep my stuff to image-based microlearning, because I think that some people who might be in a rush might not watch the video. Some people who don't have good data plans and are not on Wi-Fi might not watch the video. So my main focus has been on images for microlearning, but I also do video, of course, too. Robin, you're being asked a question about what you'll be blogging about. That's great. I love how you guys are connecting with each other here. Let me make sure I haven't missed any other questions here. And Robin's answer is she's a lifestyle blogger. That's great. I've been connected to Robin for a long time, actually, on Twitter. So I'm glad that you guys are connecting as well. Any other questions that anyone has, feel free to shoot them my way. And I'm surprised no one's taking the seat. Maybe you're all too shy, but join the seat if you want. And you can see how Blab works and how you can ask questions in real time. I think it's a fantastic thing. If Catherine, if you want to try again, go for it. I'd be very happy to have you do that. Now, one of the things that Jen wrote to me in an email, I'll just go back to the email. I'm not sure why she's on. It could be a time change thing. She's in San Diego. I'm here in near Toronto, Canada, so maybe there was a time issue. but no problem. We can always reschedule. So Catherine's going to try to join here again. Hey, Catherine.
Oh, hello. Okay, we'll give it one more try.
Well, we can. We don't see you, but we can hear you. If you want to ask your question live, go for it.
Oh, I don't have a question. I just thought I would pop back in here.
Oh, okay. Do you have any question? About how Blab works?
Yeah, I think I'm missing some of the icons that should be at the top. When I looked at some other under the Q&A, the screens look a little different. I am in Chrome, which I think it's what it's recommended to use, right?
Yep. Yeah, it doesn't work in Explorer, no.
No, I can get it to open in Explorer at all. So
there's not much that you really see on the screen. So at the top usually shows you who else is on the Blab, and that will just show basically Twitter profile photos. So I see a few there now.
Yeah, I can see those.
Would tell you how many viewers. On your own square and everybody else's square, there's two hands on the bottom right corner, and that's for giving props. So
okay.
You click on that, and people give you encouragement or props. Like Chuck is doing that to you right now, which is awesome. Thanks, Chuck, for showing how that works.
Thank you.
And on the other bottom corner, which I'm pointing to on my screen, but it might be the opposite for you guys at home, there's a little mute button. So if you click on that, you can mute yourself, and then click on it again to unmute yourself. So sometimes I do that when I'm, for example, have a cough or something. I might just unmute myself quickly. And then the other thing is you can also follow people and their Blab channel by clicking on their profile. There's a little kind of plus sign there, and that's how you follow people.
Yeah, that one out. That's good.
Another feature on Blab that I'm not sure everybody who's watching knows about, one, as I already shared with you, is that if you do /Q followed by your question, then it highlights it for me. And that helps me on the right-hand tab because there's all mentions and questions. And if it gets really busy, I can just click on the questions tab and see all the questions in one place if people have used that /Q. Another thing I can do, Catherine, is that I can do, I'll type it in now. If I do / then the word topic and then write a word, you'll see how it popped up there on the right side, bolder and bigger. Basically what I'm doing is I'm signaling a change in topic. If, for example, we're talking for, let's say, maybe half an hour and we change the topic, I just put /topic and then I put what the new topic is so that everybody knows what we're changing it to.
Oh, that's great.
Another thing you can do is just type help, and Team Blab will come in and help you live on your Blab, which is amazing.
Oh, hey, we see Robin on the screen now, so that's great.
And Robin just joined the open seat. There's always a total of 4 seats that can be open. Hey, Robin, where are you calling in from?
I am in St. Louis, Missouri.
Oh, awesome. Nice to finally virtually meet you. I've been following you on Twitter for quite a few years now.
Thank you. So I have a question for you. So the reason I came in was the original topic that you had. So now I know it says change because you were showing people. So you were talking about microlearning, and I came in the middle of things, so I'm not sure what I missed ahead of time. But I'm really curious as to what you meant by microlearning. Are you teaching people things on Instagram?
Yep.
Are you doing like a series of pictures on Instagram, a tutorial? So, that's kind of what I'm asking is like, what does that mean, microlearning? That sounded so interesting to me.
Well, it's good that you're asking that question while Catherine is on too, because she has a series on YouTube on microlearning. So it's just great that you're both on at the same time. My background is in learning and development. So I do workshops. I teach. That's been my initial job, and then I got into more social media marketing in the last couple of years. So I try to help people learn in short little bits of time through the social media platforms that are available. And Catherine?
Yes, of course my phone starts ringing.
That's okay, no problem. So
I totally missed your answer because my audio wasn't working. I couldn't hear you for some reason. Can you give me the short version again? I'm sorry.
So microlearning, basically, and it's funny, it's becoming kind of a learning and development trendy kind of word right now, but microlearning basically just means enabling people to learn in short sort of increments of time or short bits of content. So, for example, maybe a 2 to 3 minute video or less, or maybe like what I'm trying to do is share an image on Instagram, and contained in that image is a learning experience or a learning opportunity. So as I was saying, Catherine is also, she has a YouTube channel called Micro Tips and Tricks. Catherine, do you want to share what you're doing with microlearning?
Yes, sure. Now my other phone is ringing.
Yeah, that's okay.
Microlearning, how to mute our phones.
Yeah, exactly. That will be my next one. How to do it when you've got multiple screens open. So my micro tips and tricks, I started doing some based on Excel because I am a pivot table lover. And so I found that a lot of times people needed some help with some very simple things that made a huge difference in productivity. And so I started to do some, and now I've ventured into a few different areas. And, you know, whether it's somebody asking me, you know, whether it's help on, you know, Excel or in Outlook or wherever. So get ideas from Jamie and other people.
Yay for Microsoft fans. Yay.
Yay. Yeah. Try and keep it short. Some topics are hard to keep really short, but at least you know it's there to go to get a quick, you know, answer. Hopefully it's a quick answer and help out, because it can make a huge difference.
I would love if you guys could share some links to like the idea of the microlearning on Instagram, or even the short YouTube videos. I grasped that idea because I know when I do tutorials on my blog for Microsoft stuff, example, you know, I do a lot of screenshots. I make big circles and point arrows at things for people because that's what they seem to go, oh yeah, it was there the whole time and I didn't see it. But I like the idea of doing it like a super short video on Vine. Well, Vine's probably a little too short. Instagram, or even a super short Periscope, and that. So I would love if you guys could share some links for that kind of stuff. And I see that you did, Jamie. Thank you.
Yeah, Catherine, go ahead and post your YouTube channel there. I think Catherine's doing a great job. She's using a tool that I recommended to her that I love called Screencast-O-Matic. It's super, super cheap. I can't even believe how cheap it is, actually, and it works really well. And that's one tool that you could use. And basically, you cast your screen and show people, like Catherine does, how to do a really nice thing in Microsoft Excel that will save you a lot of time in the end. I also use GIFs. So if you go to that link I shared there on my website, there's a whole bunch of examples of what I call GIF tips. And I share those on Twitter primarily right now. And that enables you to learn, for example, how to turn off autoplay in Facebook, how to turn off autoplay in YouTube in about a 8-second GIF video image, whatever you want to call it. And so I'm using GIFs to show people how to learn in 10 seconds or less. That's another way to do it as well. And I share those on Twitter. And when you click on them, you basically learn something in 10 seconds. So there's a whole bunch there on my page, and you can just click on any and see how they work. And then there's Catherine's YouTube channel there too, Microtips.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to definitely check out all of those things because I am what a lot of people would want to call a know-it-all, right? And it's not really being a know-it-all. I mean, I think people who are like me, we don't want to be known as a know-it-all in a negative way. We're really just trying to be helpful. Like, I know the answer to that, or I can help you do it like so simple. And you know, sometimes I get a little long-winded about it and stuff. And so learning to be concise is really a great thing that I could work on myself. So thank you so much. I'm going to pop off so somebody else can jump in his seat.
Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for joining us. Yeah, cheers.
Yeah, Jamie, I was just going to say that I did see something that Jen posted on Instagram earlier that it looked like, I think she has confused the times because I saw something that said 4 p.m.
Okay.
So whether she's thinking it's 1 p.m. her time, and which would put it 4 p.m. Eastern, correct?
Yes. So I might be on here again later.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think I found out what I need to do for my video, but I have to reload the page. So I'm going to now close out my seat so someone else can jump in.
Awesome.
And I think if I reload, I might have to log back in. I'm not sure. So anyways, thanks, Jamie. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for joining. Anyone wants to take an open seat, go for it. You see here we're sharing some links on the side of a Microlearning on my site there, Catherine's and Microtips YouTube channel. James has another question. Any other Instagram accounts that you could recommend that are doing a good job of microlearning on Instagram? That's a good question. That's one thing that I haven't seen a lot of, but Jen is doing a good job. And Sue B. Zimmerman, the Instagram expert, those two are doing a great job, I think, of giving you some microlearning opportunities. Now, to remember both their Instagram handles, I believe it's Jen's Trends and Sue B. Zimmerman, or at the Instagram expert. They're doing a good job as well. And then Chuck is saying Google is promoting the idea of micro moments. Yes, they are. They're using the micro moments hashtag. And I've been noticing that with some of the Google email that I get, that they've been having a focus on micro moments because they understand what I think I've been talking about is that we don't have time a lot of times to watch a 15, 20-minute video, but we do have time to just look at an image or watch a 15-second video or a Vine video, as Robin mentioned. And I think in those short moments, we can still learn something. I also believe that these are ways that we can provide what's called performance support, which is where you help somebody learn something for their job, but then they might need to be reminded of certain aspects of that learning later on when they're at their desk or when they're going to a sales call. And I think those are great moments to do micro-learning opportunities, to kind of remind them of something, to send them a little piece of info they might need for that sales call, etc. So it's like a job aid, but live and a little more engaging, I guess, on a social media channel. Robin asked, why can't we have one global time? Oh, yeah, I agree. Because I have a Bright Minds Blab chat coming up with Luis Suarez in Spain in about, I think it's about a month, and it's going to be 5 a.m. for me doing that. So I kind of wish we all were on the same time, too. Sassy says, Molly Marshall Marketing is good at microlearning. Thanks. I'm going to check her out. Thanks for suggesting that. And she also agrees with me and Sue B. Zimmerman. So that is awesome. And James, you're welcome for the suggestion. So anytime you guys have any more, tweet them my way or tweet them to each other. I hope you guys will also, after this, follow each other on Twitter and connect, increase your network. Make sure you connect with me, JGoodDFC, and send me questions anytime. I am a teacher at heart, so I love helping people learn. That's what I do. And so there you go. Now, as Catherine said, it seems like Jen might have got a little mixed up on the time and with the time zone. So I may be online again later today at 4 o'clock my time, which is in about 2 hours and 15 minutes. So if that happens, I'll, of course, be promoting it out there and tweeting it out. And she will, too, I'm sure. It will be a new link, of course, for a new blab. But you might see us again today if you're interested. This one was recorded. I'm going to share it on YouTube, and you all can watch it again later if you missed some of the suggestions and such as well. But with that, I think I'll close out because we're at 40 minutes. And just as I say with microlearning, I don't want to keep these too long because I want people to be able to view and get the meat out of the conversation in as little time as possible. So I see there's a few things being shared there. Please grab them. There's Catherine's LinkedIn. There's some Chuck is thank you, Chuck. I appreciate that. He's sharing the Instagram handles. It's hard for me to kind of do that at the same time that I'm talking and watching. So thank you, Chuck. I really appreciate that. We have Jen's Trends, the Instagram experts, Sue B. Zimmerman, and Molly Marshall Marketing. So make sure you connect with those people, and everybody connect with each other too and build your network. One last question here. If we subscribe, will we get notices of your next Blab? Yes, you will. When you subscribe to me, Blab has a way of then notifying you different than if you were not connected to me. So yes, if you subscribe, you theoretically should get notifications and not miss my future Blabs. I will be posting a Blab special page for these on my website. I've been wanting to work on it, been a little bit busy, but it's my goal for today is to get that up. And then on that page, I will have a schedule of my Bright Minds Blab Chat series. Who's coming up, as I said, is the community manager for BlackBerry Canada tomorrow. I also have a woman who works in mental health, Robin Bender. She's going to be talking about entrepreneurs and mental health, which I think is a super important topic. We're going to have Mike Rohde, the Sketchnote Handbook Master, and I love Sketchnotes and I love that book, so I'm so happy he's going to be on. And I just confirmed before getting on here that I'm going to have Aliza Sherman. She's been someone I've been following since almost my very first day on Twitter a bunch of years back, and she's a great woman entrepreneur, and she was she owned the very first woman-owned internet company. She's been online since 1987, so lots of great people coming up, and I'll be sharing that schedule, and so happy to connect with all of you guys. It's really awesome. Thank you, Chuck. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Sassy Savvy, and thank you, Catherine. I'm really happy that you guys connected here. And I'll be signing off with the Digital Fluency Coach. Cheers, everyone.